We have another giant call to action on the financial literacy front. Every day we're confronted with more and more news. It's just about how consumers are ill-informed or uneducated or have misperceptions about the reality of all sorts of things about their finances, financial markets, and buying a house. And it's never been more evident than as recently reported in HousingWire's article titled "Homebuyers Strained by Cost, Confused About Mortgage Market." And it's written by Jonathan Delozier, and it highlights a recent Tomo mortgage survey of 1,000 buyers. And you'll be surprised at these 1,000 buyers, what they came to in this survey. So, 1 in 3 buyers today see high mortgage rates as the country's biggest economic problem. The number one problem in the country is high interest rates, and 75% believe the rates are unusually high. Now, this is in the face of actually interest rates being 1 point below their 50-year average. So over the last 50 years, rates were at 7.75. Today, they're actually a point and a half below that today. Yet buyers think that they're unusually high. They have a giant misperception of what it is. And that's because of recency bias of the low interest rates from the pandemic years, but that's what totally forms their opinion. And in fact, it was something like 60% of the respondents thought that interest rates were far higher today than in 1980, even though in 1980 they were 3 times as high as they are today. I mean, this is just all this crazy thoughts that these buyers have. Now, furthermore, it's causing this complete paralysis and fear in them. 85% of these people surveyed said they postponed their home search while they waited for lower rates. Okay. And furthermore, and so 59% of buyers delayed or abandoned major milestones such as marriage, children, education, or career changes because of housing expenses. More than a third said that the market made them rethink their entire life. Sacrifice is widespread through these people. Nearly half the buyers said they would skip vacations, while others reported cut into retirements or emergency savings. 1 in 3 said they'd given up a dream job or a career opportunity to afford a home. 60% expect to be house poor by the time they close. And 42% thought that buying a home was incredibly risky. Is that crazy? So that's what their thought is, right? They think that with these record high interest rates and houses are unaffordable. Now, it is true that the average DTI 20 years ago was 20%, and today this article said that it's 38%, but actually the most recent reporting was that it's at 31%. But whether it's 38 or 31, that's still manageable, especially for people that are willing to sacrifice and make good choices, right? But instead they're paralyzed with this fear and this complete misunderstanding of what the reality is, right? It's totally crazy. And here's the bottom line. Here's the best part of this. The article ends with this. It says over half of the people surveyed said they devoted less than 3 hours to the entire process of buying a home and getting a mortgage. In fact, 1 in 5 spent less than an hour doing any type of research or learning about a mortgage. 60% admitted they spend more time shopping for clothes than they do for a mortgage. Holy smokes. All right, so we have people with a total misconception about interest rates, and we have folks that don't understand, what's normal, what's affordability, what they can afford or not afford. They're completely uneducated in the whole process, which is incredible. They have all sorts of fear that's causing paralysis. It just screams to me that this is just another instance that's a calling for us to go out there and do these homebuyer seminars, to go speak at civic centers and schools and churches, wherever we can get invited, and talk to the reality about home ownership and why it's so critical. The thing about this whole thing about DTI that just drives me bananas, it's only it's a picture in time, as in today, but over time that payment gets cheaper every year, especially compared to, say, if you're renting, where that rent is going to go up by 7% a year. All these things are just needs education to help these folks, because they want to do the right thing. They're just getting fed all this baloney they don't want to understand, and it's confusing the heck out of them. So I did a LinkedIn post on this today. I highlighted all that, and by the way, great article from HousingWire. It was a really good article. I don't remember reading a lot from Jonathan before. He may be new, but great Great job, Jonathan. Check out the definitely check out the article. Check out my LinkedIn if you want to just get a summary of the article. I will try to put a link to the article below. It may hide behind a firewall. If you need a copy of the article, ping me. I'll happy to. HousingWire lets me gift it to you, so I'm happy to do that. With that, I hope you're having a great day. Appreciate you giving me a little bit of your time. I look forward to talking with you again soon.